first time in a long time, there's no weight on my neck.
Despite the lackluster performance summed up by the individual errors, Newcastle's problem is deeper than you think.
Is there an acceptance that the performances haven't quite hit top stride yet, but also a need for perspective amongst everybody?
From the Eddie Howe tactics,
well, a tactical reshuffle really,
to the left-wing dilemma, to the Bruno Guimarães concern, who's the player about to make a game-changing injury return? Plus, will the new player being scouted for a potential January move solve all Newcastle's problems? As per, join us as we discuss the 5 things we learned in Fulham 3, Newcastle 1.
Let's go!
So the first thing we learned was the left-wing dilemma between Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes. Barnes shined on the left wing, scoring a well-taken goal and proving to be the best performer in a lackluster display. Having a 7.8 match rating, 1 goal, 2 shots on and off target, 1 big chance missed, 51 touches, 97% passing accuracy, 2 key passes, 1 out of 2 accurate crosses, 2 out of 2 accurate long balls, and 4 out of 5 duels won.
Much improved in the second half, as you say. How frustrating was it that you weren't able to build on your goal so early in the second half?
Yeah, it was disappointing because we did have chances, but you look at the game as a whole. We can't defend and concede the goals that we did in the first half. We give ourselves too much to do. We're a team that we always know we're going to get chances in the game, but when you concede 2, it's always going to be tough to go and win the game. So yeah, like you said, we had the chances, but wasn't to be.
It's the first time you've lost all season, of course. Is there an acceptance that the performances haven't quite hit top stride yet, but also a need for perspective amongst everybody?
Yeah, I think it's probably been spoken about. Performances haven't been there this season, but we've been finding ways to win and get results. But we probably got punished for them performances today. We weren't quite at it again today, and first defeat. Lads will be disappointed today, but this changing room has been through these periods before. We'll quickly regroup. Like I said, they'll be disappointed today, but we've got this week, got the cup game, massive game next weekend. It's all about changing it around and getting that reaction.
Despite Harvey Barnes' masterclass, Anthony Gordon arguably had a worse display, especially given his recent form. After scoring against Bournemouth a few weeks ago, Gordon has failed to find the net for the Magpies since then. Expected to challenge the Fulham defence alongside Harvey Barnes, it was Barnes who made an impact while Gordon struggled to contribute. Having a 6.7 match rating on the ball, Gordon's passing was subpar, completing only 16 of 22 attempts. He did manage to create 2 key passes and delivered 4 crosses into the penalty area, but only 2 were accurate. With just 44 touches, he attempted 3 dribbles, succeeding only twice, highlighting his inefficacy in the final third. Defensively, Gordon lost possession an alarming 16 times and won only 5 of 10 ground duels. Fulham's players consistently outperformed him in one-on-one situations, further emphasizing his disappointing performance on the day. Interestingly, his shots and heat map reveal a strong preference for his natural left-wing position. With Harvey Barnes' ability to cut inside, create scoring opportunities and excel there, the question now is, who should really start in the left-wing position? Then we also learned about the Bruno concern. Bruno Guimarães had a horror show in his latest match, despite being the first player to win 250 duels and possessions since the start of the last Premier League season. His performance against Fulham was far below the expected standard. He received the lowest rating on the pitch with a score of 6.4. He lost the ball 15 times, second only to Anthony Gordon, who had 16, and failed to make any key passes, managing just 1 off-target shot. Guimarães struggled to assert himself in midfield as Fulham dominated the game. His passing was loose, and he ultimately gifted Fulham a 3rd goal with a careless giveaway under pressure. This lack of authority and sharpness marks a significant dip in his usual high standards. After a challenging game, Bruno Guimarães said, "I'm man enough to own my mistakes. Tough day for all of us, but I'll never hide. We need to improve as a team and individually, and I'm 100% included in that. Keep working for better days ahead." This statement exemplifies what it means to be a true captain. Guimarães not only takes responsibility for his own performance, but also speaks on behalf of his teammates, acknowledging that they all share the burden of the team's struggles this season. His willingness to confront mistakes head-on reflects a leadership quality that is essential for any successful team. However, analyzing the passing network revealed that Bruno Guimarães positioned as the central midfielder in a three-man setup, lacked viable options due to the profiles around him. Although the midfield's effectiveness was diminished by Newcastle's overall sloppiness. For Newcastle to capitalize on transitions, Willock and Joelinton needed to drive forward more effectively, given their ball-carrying ability. But the team failed to make the necessary early passes to facilitate this. Head coach Howe tried to shake things up by switching wingers and adjusting the midfield dynamics, even moving Kieran Trippier inside. However, with Fulham in the lead, they adopted a more defensive structure, making it difficult for Newcastle to counter effectively. Newcastle needed to maintain possession longer and rely on individual quality to create goal-scoring opportunities, since Willock and Joelinton are less effective against low blocks, typically requiring space to exploit. This placed an excessive burden on Bruno to create chances. A player with a profile similar to Sandro Tonali could have provided the extra ball retention and passing circulation needed. Unfortunately, Howe only made this substitution late in the 74th minute, limiting its impact on the game, as Tonali only playing 16 minutes.
No, I don't think I will.
Building on from that, we also learned about Newcastle's respect. Despite dominating possession and passing metrics against Fulham, Newcastle struggled with fouls, tackles, and yellow cards, areas in which Fulham excelled. This allowed Fulham to slow the game down, disrupting Newcastle's momentum. It appears that teams are showing Newcastle respect by allowing them to retain the ball, recognizing their strength in transition. However, the current squad lacks the necessary profiles for effective ball circulation and retention when facing a mid or deep block. This over-reliance on Bruno Guimarães to manage the midfield creates pressure, which may have contributed to his error that led to a goal. Addressing these issues will be crucial for Newcastle to improve their attacking effectiveness against organized defenses. Ultimately, it has become clear that a switch to a different formation is urgently needed for Newcastle. While axing Howe isn't the answer, he must take the initiative to rethink his tactics and adapt to the current challenges. Newcastle's 4-3-3 system has previously been effective, but opponents have figured it out, exploiting the significant gap between the defense and midfield. Alexander Isak often finds himself isolated, making it too easy for defenders to neutralize his impact. A fresh approach is necessary, especially given the current squad limitations. A potential 4-2-3-1 formation could work well, utilizing Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimarães as a bridge between defense and midfield. This setup would provide Isak with better support from Willock and Harvey Barnes. While there are doubts about Howe's willingness to change, something must give if Newcastle is to regain their competitive edge, because overall most players were simply poor. This was perfectly summed up by Newcastle legend Alan Shearer, who wasn't at all impressed with his former team's performance on Saturday. He called it awful, writing on his X account, "That was awful from Newcastle. They got what they deserved. Fulham were much, much better."
With the result and aspects of the performance, especially in that first half, as you say, I think whenever you go to any away game, as we've found through our time, that you can't give away goals. We did today, especially disappointed with the first one. Standard stuff really, and we didn't defend that situation well enough, and then you always give yourself a mountain to climb because the crowd's in the game. Responded well in the second half, much better, and the games swing on big moments. We had a chance to make it 2-2, we didn't take it, and then the third goal kills us off.
3 changes at half-time at Wolves and then 2 again today. What were you trying to achieve with them today?
Well, a tactical reshuffle really. We changed quite a bit in the half-time break to try and find a route back into the game, and as I say, probably for the first half an hour of the second half, I was really pleased. Thought we did really well. I mean, still not perfect, but much better. Scored a great goal, and you felt the whole mood in the stadium change at that point. You think, we've got a long time to try and chase the game and get another goal, and as I say, we did have our chances to do that. Unfortunately, we didn't take them, and it slipped away from us.
So as Newcastle United's leadership, including Eales, Bruce and sporting director Paul Mitchell, closely observed the team's underwhelming performance, the upcoming transfer window looms as a critical juncture for the club. In a bid to solidify their squad and retain key talent, the club is reportedly prepared to make Anthony Gordon their highest earner, with a new deal worth nearly £9 million per season, according to the Daily Mail. Currently, Bruno Guimarães holds the title of the top earner at Newcastle, raking in approximately £160,000 per week. The proposed salary for Gordon would eclipse this figure, reflecting the club's commitment to keeping him after Liverpool's attempts to lure him away during the summer transfer window. This move not only underscores Newcastle's ambition to strengthen their roster, but also highlights their desire to maintain a competitive edge in the Premier League. Preliminary talks regarding a lucrative new contract for Gordon have already begun. However, there is a sense of urgency. If Gordon declines to extend his contract, Newcastle may contemplate selling him next summer. Currently earning £60,000 per week, a new agreement would see him tripling his salary, a significant incentive for the young attacker. Gordon joined Newcastle from Everton in January 2023, initially for a fee of £40 million, which could rise to £45 million with add-ons. Since his arrival, he has made notable contributions to the team, accumulating 14 goals and 11 assists in 69 appearances across all competitions. His impressive performance has not only helped Newcastle, but also earned him a place in the England squad. In terms of statistics, Gordon has made 48 appearances for Newcastle, scoring 12 goals and providing 11 assists, with an average of 1 goal every 322 minutes over a total of 3,870 minutes played. He has started all Premier League matches this season, including 1 goal, establishing himself as a key player under manager Eddie Howe. Newcastle's readiness to offer such a lucrative deal to Gordon reflects a strategic focus on retaining young talent who can contribute to the club's future success. The upcoming transfer window will undoubtedly be pivotal, not only in terms of potential signings, but also in ensuring that the club retains its current stars. Talking about transfer developments, Newcastle United is actively seeking to bolster its squad with young talent, potentially signing a player dubbed the next Erling Haaland. The Magpies are tracking Sindre Walle Egeli, an 18-year-old sensation currently shining on the international stage. According to reports from the Mail, Egeli has an impressive record, having netted 32 goals in 35 games for Norway's youth sides. He plays for FC Nordsjælland, having joined from Norwegian club Sandefjord 14 months ago. The Danish club is expected to demand a fee of around £21 million, similar to what they received for winger Ernest Nuama. Then, in injury news, Lewis Miley has had a challenging 2024 filled with setbacks. After breaking onto the first-team scene impressively last season, he faced a back issue that cut his 2023-24 campaign short in March. Additionally, a freak foot injury in July prevented him from participating in pre-season training. However, an update from Chris Waugh of The Athletic suggests that Miley is making good progress following surgery on a broken metatarsal. He is penciled in to return around the next international break in October, which means he is likely to miss several upcoming matches, including those against Wolves, Fulham, Wimbledon, Man City, and Everton. The club will take a cautious approach to reintegrate him into the squad, particularly with the return of Sandro Tonali and the news that Joe Willock's thigh issue is not serious. With an abundance of options in midfield, Miley's path back to first-team football may be challenging, but a gradual reintegration could be beneficial following his injury-riddled year. Miley, a Geordie talent, signed a long-term deal at St James's Park in January and had a standout breakthrough season, notably scoring his first Premier League goal in a 3-0 win over Fulham and starting in the Champions League away match against PSG. And then more importantly, if you would want to know something you don't know about Callum Wilson, click the video link on screen now.